So
Welcome to the
if we're
Power
ready
of
to go.
You. Each of our women tonight are going to tell you about themselves, tell you what inspired them, what encourages them, and why they do what they do, so that maybe it'll inspire you to step out in 2018 and do you. So Arlene, let's start with you. Tell us about what you do, why you do it, and what you hope to inspire in others.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Arlene. I go by the moniker of Lady Blue. I'm a writer, blogger, radio show host, and motivational speaker here in the Baltimore area. I am a mother of four, soon to be a grandma. 4 weeks, I'll be a grandma. And
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Well, basically, what I'm all about is my biggest thing is that I'm a domestic violence survivor. And so I speak out and advocate for domestic violence. And how I have taken what I've gone through and made it my mission is that I literally had to decide if I was going to remain a victim or if I was going to have to be over my situation, because I had a man in my life who loved me but was willing to leave me if I didn't make the decision. I had my 4 children to think about. I had lost my father. There was no communication with my mother. So there was a whole lot of stress going on. But there was that moment where I had to really decide where my life was going to be. And, if I wanted to, lose my life earlier, if I wanted to live my life with the purpose that it was meant to be for. And so I took that, turned it into my radio show, my event that I host on a yearly basis, which brings survivors together to give the real face of domestic violence, not the face that's given by Hollywood and society of a black guy and a fat lip. And I've just taken that and I just bring women together and just, tell them that, they can be, they can overcome if they're willing to open up and be truthful with themselves. You've heard it said before about living your truth. That's exactly what it is. It's about living your truth, understanding who you are, accepting who you are, faults and all, and then be able to go out there and your voice is your weapon. If you're not going to take it anymore, then say so. If you love who you are, then say so. It's just living your truth and being true to yourself that makes this mission so much easier for me.
So true. I know sometimes my ex also come from domestic violence, as everyone knows. And my ex, it started out so slowly with verbal that I didn't even notice it was abuse. Of course, I was 16, he was 25. So it's kind of, I was groomed. I went from my parents' house, which was volatile. And then I moved right in with my ex at 16, dropped out of school, had a full scholarship ride, but chose to, I thought he was what I needed. And because he was the first person who ever said, I love you. And I'll be honest.
Right.
And people think that's hard to hear, but I didn't hear that at home. My mom didn't. I'm 40. Right. I'll be 46 this year. 47, y'all. I am 46. I'll be 47 this year. I done lost a year. I'll be 47 this year. And I didn't hear those words at home. I still don't hear those words. My mother is in her 60s, and her choices in life really affected mine. And I had to reach a point where I said, no longer can your bad choices, that I'm still going to pay the price for that. I got to stand up and
right.
be me. I got to stand up and take my life back at 40. I got to stand up and say, hey, no more, because it's not fair to me. It's not fair to my children. It's not fair to my grandchildren that I still walk in the shadow of waiting for you to step up and do right. And so sometimes we have to take that power back.
Right.
We have to use our voice and our life to take it back. And it's not that you don't like those people. I see my mother on a regular basis. Right. I help my mother financially. She is my mother, faults and all. She just doesn't have it in her to say those words. She's not wired to say those words. And maybe there was something in her childhood. She's the youngest of I think 11. Maybe there was something in her childhood that is the reason. I don't know. She doesn't speak about that. But I had to come to a point when I just said, enough is enough. I'm done. I'm done being the victim. I'm done being hurt by others.
I have to stop living to make you happy. I have to make myself happy, because that's what I spent the majority of my life doing. I was so busy trying to make my mother smile. I was so busy trying to make other people smile that I was ignoring me. Yep. Me was going down the drain while all these other people were living their life, and I couldn't understand. Don't you see me? I'm right here. I was the biggest invisible thing on the page.
Yep. The elephant in the room.
That makes that difference.
And that's one of the things I had to learn, because I was educated. I did well in school. I made straight A's, but my ex was not. So what happened? I dumbed myself down. I didn't talk. I didn't act like I was educated. I didn't speak up when I knew things. You know, I worked a medial job because if I used my education, then I was uppity, or I was this, or I was that. And so I spent a lot of years in that limbo of that. I knew myself well enough to know that I was smart. Not only street smart, but I was smart educational wise. And I didn't use that because I was afraid I was going to upset somebody. Somebody's going to be mad at me, and I couldn't handle that.
Right.
And that's where Misty comes in.
Right.
Because Misty has taught me to be calm. Meditation is my new friend. I had never been exposed to that before. I didn't know what it was. I honestly could not be quiet for that minute. Was a long minute for me when we started. I mean, it was a long minute. I'd be peeking at my eye. I'd be open my eye and look and see if that minute was up yet. You know, because I'd be like, is this minute over? Because it was a long time for me to be quiet and in my own head. And she told me that meditation is not chanting or not this. It's what it is to you. And for me, it was being quiet with my thoughts. It was listening to my heart and my mind instead of everything that's pouring in from the outside. So Misty, tell us about the calmness, because that, to me, that was a whole new level of entrepreneurship and my life.
Yes. You know, yes, my name is Misty with an E. And I'm known as the Peace, Calm, and Tranquility Coach. And I feel that that is my life mission. I came from a background of being an All-American athlete in college, and after college I was an athlete. And in the midst of stadiums, I had to quiet my mind. And so I wouldn't freak out, and so that I could perform effectively in athletics. And so that led to me learning how to just basically calm my mind and my heart. And so I just was learning all these things for a lot of years. And then it came to a pinnacle about 5 to 10 years ago. I said, I want to have a business, and it's a Mistyism is what it is. And I became a master certified life coach. And I also am the only, I believe, in the world that I am aware of, inspirational, interactive speaker that involves hula, Tahitian dance, Tai Chi, and karate. And so I integrate these things into the messages that I speak as well too. And more recently, I become an international best-selling author. First collaborative effort was Cultivating Your It Factor. And then this last book that we're working on together, The Power of Our Voices, Sharing Our Story, a phenomenal anthology. So I'm really excited about that. But what I do on Facebook is I do Facebook Lives, and it's called Meditative Moments with Misty every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's amazing because what we do is we meditate for 1 minute. And it's amazing how sometimes it's all that people can carve into their lives is 1 minute. And so I like to provide that space and that place for people where they can just calm their heart and their mind and their soul. And then I also do Tapping Tuesdays. Tapping Tuesdays is emotional freedom technique, and that's on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we basically tap on various issues from stress and relationships and things like that. And I also created what's called Stress Check Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I encourage people, I encourage people, hey, take a look. Where you at, you know? And then also too as well, Stress Less Saturday and Stressless Sunday. Just encouraging people to take a few minutes of time for themselves to do something stress reducing. And of course, that's my whole message, is that to give people tips, tools, and techniques to go through that stress, to move through that stress and everything. Because it's going to happen, but how we go through will make all the difference. And so my mission is to really help people to be able to better withstand stress so that they can be more productive and effective in their lives.
I think that's so important because as entrepreneurs, as women, wives, mothers, whatever role it is you play, there's gonna be stress. I was telling Misty on the other one that we've been snowed in 2 days with 4 grandchildren, and I'm just like, please, Lord, let the sun shine. Just let them go to school. Please let them go to school because the 4 of them locked up in this house. I mean, in Texas, it's a little bit of ice and snow, and we're like, no, it's over. And my daughter was like, I can't go outside, it's too cold. I was like, there are people up north who are going outside just fine. Bundle your little bottoms up and take your butt outside and run off some energy. Run around the house, throw snow at somebody, but it's not really snow, it's ice. So I don't care. Throw it at your sister, release some stress because you got to get up out of here. Because I cannot ride, I cannot think with the 4 of you, which 2 of them's, 2, and then we have the new baby, so they have to stay. But I was like, y'all need to get outside and run off some of this energy because 2 up in the house. But Maisha, you probably know how that feels because you got a bunch up in the house. And so So tell us about what you do and why you do it. I think you're muted. Can y'all hear her?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Maisha, check you are muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. Try it now.
Yo.
You're unmuted on my end, so check your end.
Still nothing.
I still can't hear her.
Mm-hmm.
Failure in White House, 1 alpha whiskey, 1 alpha 029, white cap. 34.
Well, while we're waiting on Maisha, let's move on. Lachelle, you tell us what you do and why you do it.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, yay.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Technology at its finest. I can hear you great.
I know, right? So my name is Lachelle Barnett, and I run a personal development consulting firm. And we basically work with new entrepreneurs. We specialize in helping them launch, and we focus on being authentic. We focus on being strategic, and we focus on being profitable. And one of the reasons why I showed up today in my wonderful attire, people are always asking me, is because I really push and encourage people to show up in a way that matters to you, right? So sometimes, we can tell people all day, be yourself and be authentic and blah, blah, blah. And some people can do it and other people struggle. But it's when people see you operating in your own authenticity that they're like, look at that. I might be able to, not necessarily do the same thing, but find my own lane and be authentic as well. So about 90% of all of the interviews that I do, I always do them in my robe. And I do them because all of my conversations with my clients are in my robe because I work from home, right? So we talk a lot about, at least with the clients that I serve, being really clear on why you're starting the business, right? Because I work with so many people who are like, let's say 2 or 3 years in, and the business has kind of taken over, and the original reasons why they started are really no longer there. And so we sometimes have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what were the reasons why you got into this work in the first place? So for me personally, my biggest reasons were, 1, I wanted to work from home. I did not want to have to get dressed and be suited and booted every day. So in my regular 9 to 5 at the time, so all of my experiences as a therapist. And so one of the things that was important to me when I first started building was I want to work from home. I don't want to put on suit coat jackets and heels and, get up and go to work every day suited and booted. I want to be able to work from home. So when I'm at home, this is what I wear, right? When I talk to my clients, this is what I wear. Sometimes they know that, sometimes they don't. So we talk a lot about being authentic because it's, the key to your happiness. So that's kind of a little bit about what I do. And the reason why I got in this work, there's so many reasons. I think the biggest reason is because when I started my journey, I really struggled, right? So when I first started as an entrepreneur, I didn't know much about business. And so I went to a lot of conferences, I hired coaches, I got into different programs. And maybe about 6 months in, I find myself being frustrated, overwhelmed, broke. Mm-hmm. And I did not want that experience to happen to other people. And so I started working with entrepreneurs in order to help them keep their excitement as they build, right? Help them have the information and the knowledge and the tools that they need so that way they don't get frustrated. Because, we all know entrepreneurship is no joke, right? Mm-hmm. Like it comes with its own challenges. And so, my focus when I work with people is to help them build strategically so they don't have to spend years in the business unhappy and not making money and not having clients, and allowing themselves to be excited and, enjoying the process instead of being frustrated every step of the way. So
you just described my first year. I remember my business partner, Stacy, she does the graphics for my books and all. And she had decided after my first year in business that I was addicted to conferences and workshops because anyone that was within driving distance, I had us ticket to. We went, we networked, we did this and we did that. We made no money. Mm-hmm. I made just enough money for the next conference. And finally I had to get real and say, look, it has to be financially responsible. It has to offer something, either a way for me to get clients, a place for me to speak, sell my books. It has to be financially, rewarding in order for me to attend the conference, because Stacy, for one thing, was tired of driving because I do not do Dallas traffic. Mm-hmm. Y'all see me, I be on Channel 4 News, one of them road rage people, because no, it's not me. And he was just like, you have to stop. You have to, because I'd be like, I've sold enough of this to get the ticket. This is going to be I was waiting for that next big, great thing that was going to catapult my business. When honestly, you are that next big, great thing that's going to catapult your business. Nothing else
exactly.
is. Right. Your passion and your purpose is what's going to push your business. You do need the knowledge, but you don't have to be at every single networking event. And, and then what happens is you get all those little cards and you come home and put them on your desk. I personally could go over there and show you my stack. I call it the stack of shame because it's all those missed opportunities because they are just right there with a rubber band around them and no follow-up. Because to be honest, they were in direct sales. They were in that. They were not the people who needed my services. They were not, I help you write your story. If you're selling this or selling that, really, I'm not your person. And I had to recognize that I had to go where the people were. For me, it was social media. I had to get over myself and get out on social media because that's where I met most of the people who needed my services. I do attend some events and I do network, especially locally, because I give back, mentor, talk to women and things like that. But I had to make sure that it fits into who I am and that I'm being authentic to what my purpose is and what my business is about. And so that you spoke, I'm telling you, that was my whole first year in business. All I did was chase conferences. I got bags.
That's what I find with many of the clients that I serve is the start is always rough because we lack clarity. We're trying to figure out what we want to build and how we want to build it and what's it going to look like. And so I try to help people not make so many mistakes. We all got to bump our head and, learn as we grow. But I try to help people not go to every conference and stick to one plan, implement that plan, see it through, make some adjustments, because I think most of us struggle with the same thing when you're first starting out. So.
Like my husband said, he summed it up in one word, in one sentence. That I was trying to make soup, and I was just throwing everything in the cabinet in that pot to see what stuck, to see what was going to work. I mean, I didn't care what the conference was on. If you had women there, I was there. And so I had to just fine tune it and really get in line with what was for my business. Maisha, are you unmuted now? Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Yes. All hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yay!
Tell us what you do and why you do it.
Okay, I'm Maisha Guillemel, everybody. I'm a mother of 6. I am a 3-time best-selling author, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence and childhood molestation. And that's really what my passion is. That's what actually got me started, because I decided to break the silence. I was surrounded by so many women and men that were holding things within them that had happened to them in their past. I was surrounded by so many people that opened up and began to tell me their stories at my book signings. Now, the book signings did not originate for that purpose, but in talking about the things that had happened to me, people began to cry out for help, and people began to want someone to have that listening ear, you know, that shoulder that they could lean on in discussing these things that had happened to them that were traumatic. So under this, since they began to talk to me and tell me their stories, I became what's known as a transitional strategist, which means I just help people to transition their mindset. I help them to come to grips with what happened to them in their past and learn how to change their outlook on life based on using principles and strategies that I myself use to help me to get over things and get to where I am today. I realized that so many survivors of domestic violence suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and these things carry over from the past into their new relationships, and they wonder why they're having issues. They wonder why they can't get along in their parent relationships. They wonder why they have issues with authority or being told what to do. They wonder why they jump or they're inaffectionate with individuals. So I helped them to kind of grips with that and realize that these traumatic events that have happened to them in their lives in the past shouldn't just be brushed aside, but they need to come to the surface and they need to be addressed in order for them to be able to move forward with their purpose in God. Because if you're harboring all of these things inside of you and you've never took inventory of yourself and you've never done a self-evaluation because you've been so busy pushing these emotions down inside of you because you're afraid of what people will think. You're afraid of what people see when they look at you. You know, it's such a traumatic thing that takes place when you are a survivor of domestic violence. And then when you add something like childhood molestation on top of that, the psychological effects are endless. So I help people to work through that. I help people to work through those situations and begin to come to grips with the reality that, yes, this happened to you, but you are an overcomer and you are a survivor. And not only should you survive, but you should begin to thrive so that you can walk in your purpose and your destiny and be who God created you to be. Not what people say you are, not how people look at you. Going back to what I think Misty said, being your authentic self and being comfortable with that, being comfortable in your own skin per se.
Amen. She's right after my own heart.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I know when I first left, I was so busy surviving. And no one knew. I mean, I was with my abuser 23 years. And other than my girls who lived in it, you know, who I thought I hid it from, who saw way more than I thought they did. As grown women tell me things that they remember that I thought I had kept hidden from them. But I was so worried what other people were going to say. I was, I say 23 years. What were they going to say? I'm an educated woman. What was I doing staying 23 years with a man who put his hands on me daily? Put me down there, never a nice word to say, wow, And what I found was when I finally told my story and put my word out there and just laid it out, you know, like, this is me. It's part of who I am. It came from my childhood, you know, and that's just who it is. You know, that's just who I am. And once I laid it out there, the things I thought they were going to say were a whole lot scarier than what anybody ever said.
Yes.
I mean, because my fear was a whole lot worse than what my reality was. Because when I started my first time of telling my story, there was a woman there who was a lot older than me who said, "Darling, I stayed 40 years. He died before I got out." You know, and so for me, I was just like, I'm not alone. Because that's what happens when we care about ourselves. Whether it be childhood molestation, whether it be abuse, whatever it is. Even in our entrepreneurship, we think we're the only ones struggling with that finance problem, with that thing that we can't do. And the fact of the matter is, we're not. We're not alone in any of our struggles. There are other people who have walked through this, and that's why we do things like this, so that other women will see you're not alone. You're never alone. All right, we're coming to the end of it. Arlene, will you tell everybody how they can reach you, how they can get in touch with you, and how they can support the things that you have going on?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to say, Maisha, you and I need to talk.
Yes.
Secondly, I want to say that I'm all across social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, YouTube. My website should be up hopefully by the end of this week. They were under reconstruction. Lady Blue 1, LADYBLUU1. If you wish to contact me, LadyBlue17. LadyBlue17@gmail.com. There's my 50 Shades of Blue page, my Lady Blue Talk Radio group page. You can download the radio show app. Listen, it's free. Listen every Thursday, every Friday. You can support me you can contact me on my emails, and I'll give you all the ways to support. I do have 4 books that are out. I just released my personal story. I also have 3 books that I collabed on, one of them with Teresa, Women on a Mission, which I was very proud of when I did that. And I'm currently working on one which, when I dropped it in Teresa's ear, she jumped at it and was so excited. I cannot wait. I've been working on it daily. And and Maisha, you'd be interested to know, it's actually a survivor workbook.
Oh, wow.
It's a survivor workbook, so I am really, really excited about it. Other than that, you can call me if you want to, 443-847-5567. I am starting to gather donation sponsors, vendors, all these things for my 4th annual domestic violence awareness event that happens in October. And that's really about it. Once you find me on social media, I'll tag you onto everything else.
Misty, tell us how we can reach you. I know how, because I'm there every Tuesday and Thursday. But tell them how they can reach you.
Well, I think a couple of ways. My Facebook Lives are public, and so my personal fan page is Misty Kahauni Kapali. But if you do Misty, M-I-S-T-E, space K, I'm the only one that probably comes up. That is my Hawaiian given name. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays is Meditative Moments with Misty at 10 Central Standard Time. And then every Tuesday is Tapping Tuesdays. And then let's see, on Thursday, I do Plank and a Quote. You don't like that one, Teresa, that much.
I will cheerlead her on, but I am not planking. But I will cheerlead her on.
Okay.
Cheerleader.
Plank and a Quote is every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. My website is Mistyism, MISTEISM.com. And you can schedule a free stressless strategy session with me. And that is at https:// it's ITSA Mistyism, MISTEISM.setmore, SETMORE.com. My fan page is Mistyism, MISTEISM, on Facebook as well too. And I think that's everything I can think of. I'm on a lot of the social media too, Instagram, Twitter. LinkedIn, a lot of them. But that's the major things I can think of.
Maisha, tell us how we can reach you.
Yes, on Facebook, you can reach me as Maisha Guillemil. I do Worry-Free Wednesdays every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love for you all to join me. And then I am on Instagram and Twitter as I am MGE, and that's all capital letters for MGE. I'm on LinkedIn. And I'm on Periscope now under My Asia. I had to change it because I didn't have the I am MGE available at My Asia, MYASIA 35. And my website is www.mgebreakthesilence.org. And you can check that out. And I look forward to corresponding with you all.
Lachelle, tell us how we can get a hold of you.
So I am the Reset Room on all social media sites. Wherever you go, if you look up the Reset Room, you will find me. The other way to get involved is I have a group on Facebook called From Employee to Entrepreneur, and it's with Lachelle Barnett. So if you look up Lachelle, it'll come up that way. And then for those people who, I always give a free gift, people who are interested in avoiding launches that are not profitable. If they text the word launch to the word to the number 574-318-3048. Again, 574-318-3048. If you text the word launch, you will get a CD free, doesn't cost you anything, of 10 mistakes to avoid in order to have a profitable launch.
Awesome.
So exciting. I want to thank each of you for being on the show tonight and for taking time out of your schedule to be with us. I'll be sending y'all a little thing in the messenger as we're running out of time here. So I'll send y'all, because we're offering for y'all to write a small thing in the magazine about what you do and why you do it. And so I'll send y'all the information on that in Facebook Messenger. And once again, thank y'all for being on here. And thank everybody who joined in and who will also be listening to the replays on iTunes and on our YouTube channel. So y'all have a blessed evening, and thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.